Thank you all so much. Almost everyone is in now. I know we still have some people that are on their way because of the weathers, but I just want to thank all of you for showing up and being a part of this discussion tonight. I am LaWana Mayfield. I serve you on Charlotte City Council as one of your at-large members. Does anyone in here know that you have 3 local branches of government in Charlotte? You have City Council, you have Mecklenburg County Commission, and you have CMS School Board. School Board is actually having their meeting right now downstairs in the basement. This is my amazing staff liaison assistant who's going to turn the music down because I don't know how to do it. But I want to give a big round of applause to Miss Latoya White. Thank you. Because she makes it look like I know what I'm doing. And she helps to coordinate everything, and we have a great conversation that's going to be happening. But before we get started, are y'all enjoying the food? So, if you were not aware, and if you did not know, now you know we have an amazing restaurant here in Charlotte, Cuzzo's, and our owners, the cousins, are here. But I am going to have our chef to come up and introduce himself and tell you a little bit about the Culinary Connection, as well as Cuzzo's and their program that specifically teaches culinary skills to our youth. So, Chef Andario.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm Chef Andario, owner of Cuzzo's Cuisines, and founder of Culinary Connections. Culinary Connections is a culinary program in which I teach kids from 10 to 15 how to cook. And we've been doing it for the past 3 years now. I have classes like once a month or every 2 months, you know, when we can afford it, because it gets costly sometimes. So, but we're trying to start some fundraisers and so we can have classes more often. But I pretty much want to teach the kids, you know, life skills. You know, I never had no one at that age to teach me how to cook at the age of 10 or 14, and I just want to give them a idea of what they could do in life instead of, you know, if you don't make it in sports or whatever, instead of thinking they got to play basketball or football, just give them another avenue. And I went to Johnson & Wales, you know, and I went to culinary school as well, and I just want to give them a head start, see if they want to go to culinary as well. I also do internship at my restaurant for Johnson & Wales students. What else? And I got a couple of my students who past the age limit now, and they're planning on going to culinary school. Amina, matter of fact, and another student here, Dylan, where you at? Yeah. Matter of fact, I want y'all to come say something and tell everybody what y'all learned. But I've seen them progress. I'm teaching them college skills that I've learned in college for free, because it costs me a lot to go to college. But I'm teaching them the game for free, and And that's just my calling, man. That's what I think I'm here to do. That's God got me here to do, to teach the youth, man, teach the kids, feed his people. And that's my way of ministering to the people, man, is through my food, and I thank everybody that enjoys my food and support us. But but Culinary Connection, man, that's what I'm doing. I'm just trying to reach these kids at a young age, man, and yeah. One of my students want to come and say something. You want to say something to me? I know you.
Tell them baby's quiet.
They quiet. At least tell them what to learn or something,
Well, Amina is a small business owner.
Yeah, she got her own business. Yeah.
Amina, I promise you only have to speak for 1 minute.
Yeah.
Because we do have a program, and I want to be respectful since we're getting a little behind.
Oh, yeah,
but I think this is an opportunity also for the young people and for the adults in the room to know that there are multiple ways that our community is showing up. And some of you might decide or have been thinking about or cooking at home and thinking that you might want to do it, but you're not sure how to step into it. Well, now you have a connection. Miss Amina.
Hi, my name is Amina. I went to Culinary Connections when I was like
12.
I think I was like 14.
Oh, 14.
Yes. Well, yeah, I did actually learn a lot, and actually it added on to my skills that I already had as a chef and a cook. I have my own business, Mina's Palette. I actually made the egg rolls that's on the table. Yeah.
That's it. That's all you have to
Good job.
Your name?
Hi, my name is Dylan, and
How old are you?
I'm 13. I'm 12, and
Tell them what you learned, Dylan.
I learned how to cook and
What's your favorite dish?
oh,
What do you
I
like
like-
making?
macaroni and meatball, macaroni and chicken tenders.
Oh, okay. See, that's it. We ain't gonna put you on the spot for too long.
Good job, man. Good job.
Chef, thank you so much for always being a big supporter of the city of Charlotte, for always being a big supporter of me and the work that Cuzzo's has done in the community for years with giving back. But I just wanted to give a moment for them to learn and meet you and learn a little bit about what you're doing, and also gave people a chance to finish eating before we get
I want
started.
to throw one more thing in there, too.
Yes.
We don't only teach kids how to cook. We also be in the community feeding the homeless, feeding families in need. It's more than just teaching the kids. When we've been feeding kids for free since COVID. I don't know if some of y'all remember in 2020 when they had to shut down, we was one of the only restaurants feeding kids for free. And we were still feeding kids for free until my restaurant burned down on Tuckasegee 2023. So I'm just letting you know, it's more than just teaching them how to cook. We also
And we have a
feed
new
the community.
location.
Yeah, we got a new location now, 9601 North Tryon Street. But but just to let y'all know if y'all didn't know. Yeah.
Thank you, Chef. So we have a really robust agenda, but I want to take a moment to thank Ms. Davita Fields and Mr. Sean Kennedy. If you will raise your hand, because this is the brainchild of them, of which you are going to see them. We have one of our amazing judges in the city, Judge Aretha Blake, is with us this evening. We have Sergeant Christopher Pinckney, who has been in the community for a long time and who has been an advocate and an ear for our young people for a long time, who is a father and who understands and who Charlotte is home. So we have from community, serving community. So we have Sergeant Pinckney. And I want to thank our entire team that has been walking around to help, as well as some of the young people that help to serve you. But with that, I am moving out the way because we have amazing speakers that are going to lead this. So Ms. Davita Fields, you are now in charge. This is your show.
Thank you, Councilwoman Mayfield. How are y'all doing tonight?
A little bit more excited.
I'm about to say, hold on. Good evening, everyone. All right. Thank you. I'm Davita. I am the founder of Dear Deandra, which is a nonprofit that I created to spread awareness on teen dating violence, and recognize that life is not a game and that we need to continue having the conversation and creating spaces like this tonight. And this means not just so much to me, but to everyone in here, from the teens to the parents, the speakers, and everyone. So thank you for being here. And with that being said, I'm going to bring up my partner, Sean Kennedy. Come on up, give him a round of applause.
Good evening, good evening. So I'm Sean Kennedy, I'm with Mech Invest. If you're with Mech Invest, stand up. Thanks for coming out, stand up, the Mech Invest team. And if you're a Mech Invest kid, stand up. If you've been through our programming or if you're a family member that's been through your programming. Stand up, don't be shy, don't be shy. Isaiah, you're not a Mech Invest kid? All right, thank y'all for coming out. You're not a Mech Invest kid? Chris, get your kids to stand up, man. So these kids are shy, but Mech Invest is a program that works with young men between the ages of 8 and 13. We teach them our 4 E's: enrollment, enlistment, employment, and entrepreneurship. We do it every summer at John C. Smith for 1 week. It's absolutely free camp. And we pour into these young men these gifts that we know are out there that they can take advantage of. This will be our 10th year. This year we're enrolling 250 boys. We went live 2.5 weeks ago, Chris? And we already have 600 young men that have already applied for the program. So this will be a big year. When we finish, I'm guessing we should have probably 800 young men apply for the program, and we'll choose 250 out of that. And we pour into them. We show them that we love them. We show them that they can do great things in life if they just put their mind to it. I see Vardo just walked in here. I always point Vardo out. Stand up, Vardo. Vardo's one of my success stories. So I love talking about this kid, man. Graduated from Vance High School, now Chambers High School, with a 2.2 GPA, 2.3 GPA. Wasn't sure if he wanted to go to college. Lost a family member who was really dear to him and raising him and keeping him on the right path. Went to Lewisburg Junior College to get it together. Then got a full scholarship to go to UCC. Graduated in 2 years while playing football. Hold on, we ain't finished yet. Then he went to Gardner-Webb for 1 year, got his MBA in 1 year, and now he just finished his first year of law school at Duke. So he's one of our success stories. So I see he walked around, I had to point him out, but the kid is amazing, and that's what we try to do with Mech Invest. Show these young men that can do anything and give them the path and the tools to do it. So thank you guys for coming out. And that's it. And shout out to my brother Chris. He's my partner with Mech Invest. Been here since the beginning, going on 10 years. I love you, brother. And back to you.
Questions together? You want to ask some questions together?
What's that?
The questions together?
Are we gonna break up?
Yeah. Well, we're going to do the poll? Okay, all right. All righty. Does anyone in here know what a toxic relationship is? Can anyone just volunteer and say what they think it means? A toxic relationship. Okay, Councilwoman Mayfield? What she said? Oh, absolutely, yes.
That is the most prominent case of a toxic relationship and what you're sharing online, and the fact that you are parents with a small child, and that one day that child is going to go to the internet and see all these comments that their mother and their father said about you. That is not helpful.
Okay. Does anyone else want to share? Absolutely.
That is.
Yeah. You over there? In the blue?
I was gonna say, when I think of toxic, I can use words. So I think of abuse, whether that's physical or emotional, violent situations. That's the first thing that comes to mind.
Absolutely. You wanted to add on? You good?
Yeah, we need some kids to get involved first and foremost. All right, so I'll start calling you out by name.
Uh-oh.
All right. Y'all ready? Okay, thank you. Give us an example of a toxic relationship.
I know like toxic relationships I've heard are very
Thank you. A toxic relationship is basically the balance between control and abuse from physical, financial, sexual, emotional, mental, and now digital with social media. And that's why we're here today to spread awareness on this. And 1.3 million teens report being victims of a toxic relationship, also known as teen dating violence. And that's why we're here to change that. And by a show of hands, who in here knows someone who is in a toxic relationship or who has been in a toxic relationship?
In our age group or just in general?
In general. Wow. Yeah. You want to go to the next one?
You got it.
Okay, all right.
Right on with you.
All right, thank you so much. Put your hands down. Can anyone, sorry, share some possible outcomes of someone in an abusive relationship, a toxic relationship? What is something that can happen to someone who stays in an abusive relationship? You can go ahead.
So they start to begin, like, they begin to lose themselves and lose track of, like, what they had going on outside of that person. So, yeah, you just kind of see, like, you just see somebody losing themselves.
Absolutely, absolutely. Oh,
You'll start to see different strategies they use within their household. So things that happening to them, they'll start doing to their own kids or other family members. So I have seen that. I'm witnessing it right now. One of my best friends. And, luckily now that the state gets involved, no matter if you call that police and you say he did something, you can't drop that case. So I'm glad they're doing that now.
absolutely, absolutely. Anyone else? Do you want to lead the transition? Okay. Are we, nobody else? Nobody else knows an outcome or something that someone can experience from being in an abusive relationship. They could die, exactly. Let's get down to business. Yes, ma'am. They can change, like you said, they can change. They may not even be themselves looking in the mirror and not even recognize who they see in the mirror. And that's why we want to be here tonight, to fix that, to change that, to address that. So we're going to go ahead. Do you have anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay. We're actually going to go ahead and break up into some small groups to separate the girls and the boys so we can have some intimate conversations. Are y'all ready? All right, so I guess the boys are going to go with Sean. He's going to lead you guys to your room, and the girls are going to come with me, and we're going to go over this way. So we can go ahead and head that way now.
Boys supposed to stay in here.
The parents are staying here.
Now's the time that you get to have real conversation. If you didn't want to have the conversation in larger space, you can have real conversation in a much smaller space together.
We can let them know the parents stay in here.
And parents, we do have something, parents and adults, aunts, uncles, those that are in here, you're going to stay in here because we have a piece for you as well.
Where's Latoya?
LaToya,
The adults are staying in here, yes. She didn't. Okay, I need to go. Can you take this? Oh, can you take this out?
where do we have the boys?
Thank you.
That way.
I just need one.
Brothers are eating again. They just ate when we got here. There's a difference between hunger and greed. All right. Great conversation. Think between all three groups. So we'll kind of just go over that real fast before we jump into the panel. Do you want to start with the conversation with the young ladies?
I do. Uh-oh, did I drop something? Oh, great, sorry.
It's all good.
embarrassed.
It's all right. Good.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right. Do I have any girl volunteers who want to read the scenario, the third one, the one that kind of got a little tricky? You want to come up here and read it? Actually, I'll come. You ready? You read it? You got it?
I'll read it. I'll read
Nobody?
the scenario. How about this? I'll read the scenario, and a young lady raise your hand and talk about it, and one of the fellas talk about it. Is that cool? And then we'll talk about it. All right. All right. Devin admires Brittany, and even though it's been 3 months, he buys her flowers. He sends a daily good morning text, and he asks if she's comfortable meeting her parents. Is that a red flag or a green flag? All right. All right. One of the young ladies, Gigi. Gigi. I see you, Gigi. Stand on up.
Come on.
So, Gigi, tell us why you feel it's a green flag.
Because he asked her if she was comfortable meeting his parents instead of just like bringing her to his house or something, and they're like there. So, I think it's a green flag.
All right. Does everybody feel it's a green flag? Fellas, anybody? All right.
Yep.
Who wants to answer for the male? RJ, is that a green flag? Tell us why.
Oh, he's loud.
Stand up. Stand up, brother. Stand up.
It's showing like vulnerability that you wouldn't show to any other regular female. If maybe like for a regular female that you don't really feel the same, like the same way that you say that you do these things, like you're not gonna do things that you for this girl that you care about. Maybe the time span is a red flag, but like the intentions are a green flag.
Great job. Great job. So I think as a whole, we all feel that that's a green flag. You want to read question number 2?
Yes. So Jacob FaceTimes Candace nearly 15 times a day to see what she's doing because he misses her. And he just wants to know where she's at all the time because he deeply, deeply loves her. And it's only because of the issues of his ex, only because of his ex. And he also has her location on his phone. Is that a red flag or a green flag?
Where them flags at?
Where them flags at for real?
Where the flags?
Yes, yes. I'm gonna have you say why you think this is a red flag.
I say this is a red flag because it's just showing a signs of possessiveness. Like, I feel like he wants to have a sense of control over your life, and it's in a healthy relationship. It is like, it's good to have that boundary that y'all have your own lives outside of each other.
Great job.
So, yeah.
All right. For the fellas, J-Man, you got something in your mouth? All right. Isaiah, you look like you want to share. Stand on up, young brother. Green flag or red flag?
Red flag,
Okay.
because 15 calls is just a lot.
All right.
Yeah.
So
Short and sweet.
what was interesting with our group, and I don't know if it came up with the young ladies, as far as notes, and as far as myself being a little older, I thought that sharing your location all the time was a lot. But the young men felt that that was kind of standard practice, where it's okay to share your location. Where the red line was drawn was the 15 calls.
Wow.
So does anybody want to kind of touch on that, like the location, and how's that okay?
I'm coming up.
Ashley.
Wait a minute. So that we can capture it and everybody can hear. Let me give you that.
I think for this generation, why they feel it's okay, because so much goes on in this generation. So if you do have a significant other or a girlfriend and you're real close with their parents and she's somewhere she shouldn't be, she's not in, you can report to her parents. It's a little bit different than when I was growing up. That was a no. And I may look a little younger, y'all, so I'm 31, so just so everyone knows I'm not a child. But I'm saying that because this generation, I can see why, because so much goes on. And I share a location with my godchild. I know she shares location with her friends. I do it strictly with my friends and not my boyfriend. So therefore, I understand it in that sense where they're coming from.
Gotcha. One of the young men.
right, thank you.
I need one of y'all to explain to me
This
why it's okay. Or one of the young
last
ladies.
one.
Oh,
The
we gotta
last
push
one.
on? Okay.
Gotta get onto the panel.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Young man? No, I want to hear from a young man
Yeah, the
why
last one.
sharing location was okay.
Yeah.
I see you ready.
Because it's not. But let's see what they got to say.
Here you go.
Like I feel like it's cool because it shows trust. Like you being able to share your location with them pretty much shows that you want them to know if you're okay. But like it becomes a problem when it becomes a sign of distrust when you want to know where they're at like all the time.
So if you trust her, why don't you just ask her where she's at instead of having to check her location? If you trust her, she can just tell you where she's at.
Okay. Wait. He got to follow.
Uh-oh.
I just feel like it's just a step around calling. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you could just easily go. Because, I mean, if I'm going to keep it 100, like, not the like, nowadays, like, I don't even know how to explain this for real. I ain't even gonna lie. But, like, how should I say this? It's like, when I want to see where somebody at, like one of my friends or like a girl that I'm talking to, like, I check the location first and then I call and be like, where you at? I don't know. That's just a habit I got. Like, I don't know. But it might be different for other people.
Luckily, they're young enough to break some of these habits. Oh, but they also share their location with their parents as well. So when we think about, like you said, this age, modern technology, it may be a little different because I'm married 19 years and you don't know where I'm at until I get back home.
But I'm against it as far as sharing your location. And I want to be able to be in control of when you know where I'm at. And as a wife, my husband doesn't even know where I'm at. I don't even share my location with him. But he has a droid, so that's another thing. Anyways, I don't think as a young lady you should be sharing your location with your significant other. If they want to know where you're at, you can tell them. You can tell them when you leave if you want. But as someone who experienced teen dating violence and losing someone from domestic violence, from someone knowing their location at all times, I stand against it. So just wanted to share that. But we can go ahead and get to the panel. Sean, did you have anything you want to share?
That was it. That was it. Again, thank you for being honest and open up with us, especially the fellas in the room I was with. That was an amazing conversation. And hopefully you guys learned something because I know I learned a lot. Coach Chris, I know you learned a lot too. Brother Bilal, you learned a lot. So thank y'all.
Thank you, ladies,
Panel.
again.
We can clap for that.
I want you to.
That's a deep question.
That is, okay.
Question 3 was a deep question.
Come on, can we ask it
Can you
just
do
real
2
quick?
minutes?
Councilwoman Mayfield, can we ask the third question real quick?
Okay.
Just a little, okay, all right. I'm gonna go ahead and read it. So, third one is Jeremy and Alexandra have a great relationship. He loves her. Anything she wants, he buys. He sends her good morning text, takes her shopping, but when they argue, he grabs her and shakes her. Let me show you what she does. Sean, can you stay right there? Whenever they argue, he's like, why don't you listen to me? And so I want to know, what do you think? Is this a red flag or a green flag? Is she safe in this relationship or is she possibly in danger? Just 1, 2 people.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see what you got to say.
Yes, sir. I need to hear from you. Stand up.
Like, I think it's a red flag, me personally, because, like, putting your hands on a female in general is wrong. Like, regardless of, like, what the situation is or if she hit you first or if that in case, like, because you risking a lot as a man. I know, like, if she say that you hit her to anybody, you gon', especially with the police, like, you going straight to jail, like, no questions asked. Regardless, even if she hit you and she said that you hit her, you still gonna go to jail regardless of that. You can lose a lot of stuff from just even putting your hands on her in a physical way.
Absolutely. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Any female want to share from what we talked about?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I think it's a red flag because you said even though he's not like punching her or kicking her, he's grabbing her. He's showing you this is how close I am to punching you or having to put my hands on you like in a more aggressive way. And even that's if you're taking the time to give him the benefit of the doubt. He shouldn't be putting his hands on you regardless.
Yes, ma'am.
Great
Absolutely.
answer, Iman.
Thank you.
And we went a little deeper with the boys, where we talked about, because some of them felt that it wasn't that bad to put your hands on a woman if she's hitting you first. So if she's smacking, you have the right to restrain her. And we went deeper into, nah, brothers, we ain't gonna do that. We ain't gonna do that, right? We ain't gonna do that. We talked about walking away. Because it just gets deeper and it becomes an ongoing thing and it just gets worse as it goes. And domestic violence or relationship violence can go both ways. And knowing that it can go both ways, you're not more masculine because you can take a smack in the face. As men, young men, you gotta know how to walk away also. So we went a little deeper into that also.
Absolutely. And I will say this, and I'm gonna leave it with this, that no young lady should allow a young man to put his hands on you, even if it's like a girl, quit playing, even if it is a little shake, because that shake can turn into a punch. It can turn into a kick. It can turn into a stab. It can turn into a shot. And I'm speaking from experience with losing my sister from teen dating violence. Her ex-boyfriend pulled a gun on her before. He actually pushed her before, and she kind of let it slide, but it got to the point where he murdered her and shot her 15 times because she allowed him to do that first thing. So ladies, when I tell you not to ever let a young man put his hands on you, and fellas, please, please don't ever put your hands on a young lady, no matter how frustrated you are. Walk away. Tell her, I love you, but I gotta go. And let that be that. I don't want to see you in jail. I don't want to see you in the ground. I don't want to see anyone in the ground from losing themselves or someone they love from teen dating violence. Can I get an amen? Amen. All right, thank you. Let's go ahead and get into this panel.
And as a man, it goes both ways. Go ahead, tell me what you're saying.
The other side of it is, young women, you don't need to be putting your hand on a man. You see your friends and y'all think that's cute when they playing, or when that girl smashes her boyfriend's face or smacks him, young men, that's not cool. Yes, you need to walk away, but you also need to really rethink that conversation. That's not the young person for you. So young women and young men, there is no reason for you to put your hands on the person that you say, I like, I love, I think I'm falling in love with, you my girlfriend, you my boo, you my whatever. There's never a reason for either a young woman to put her hands on you, for a young man, for those of us that have friends and family or who may identify themselves in same-sex relationships. I need you to understand domestic violence happens there too. It is this domestic violence, aggressive behavior is the same when it comes to relationships. And there is no time, if it's two young women dating each other, no, it ain't cute for her to put her hands on you. No, it's not cute for her to track you. For the young man, no, that's not cute. The only people that need to know where you at is your mama, your daddy, your grandmama, and maybe your auntie. That's the only people that need to know exactly where you at all times. Those adults in your life. Not a little friend. I'll see you at school or I'll talk to you later on the phone. They don't need to have that much control over your life, and you need to be comfortable having that conversation and knowing that that is not okay. So I don't want young men feeling like it's only up to you to walk away. Young women, we see it on TV. We think it's cute. We think it's funny. It's not. You will go to jail. We don't need to be ending up in jail. It's enough of us already there. We can make some better choices.
Clap it up. She wanted me to say that. All right, panel, it's all yours.
Oh, okay. We need a moderator. Councilwoman Mayfield, a moderator? Oh, yes. We need a moderator. A moderator? No? You want me to moderate?
That's what the program says. You the moderator. Yes, ma'am, Debbie.
Okay.
You got all those questions.
I got the questions?
Yes, ma'am. So it's a work in progress. So we're gonna start with Judge Blake.
Hey, everybody. My name is Judge Aretha Blake. I serve as a district court judge here in Mecklenburg County. I serve primarily for the last 6 years in juvenile court, and I work with children who have been abused, neglected, or dependent, and so that means they're in foster care, as well as children in the juvenile delinquency system. I also work in family court, in domestic violence court, child support court, criminal domestic violence court. So I've done a few things that deal with the subject matter. So I want to start by really framing it, because I know, I'm so thankful for the voices of the youth in this room. I'm so thankful for you guys putting your perspectives in this space. And I want to just say that today we are talking about safety. So when I hear about all the various aspects of that we've talked about, just remember what we're talking about, I think, in this panel, is how do we keep you all safe when it comes to intimate relationships? And I want to use that word because I don't want to just talk about just your dating relationships, right? Even in your friendships. Because you guys are in school every day. You guys are dealing with bullying. You see, if you're not someone who's been bullied, you've seen someone being bullied. We see things on the news about kids who are the subject of violence in our schools, in our communities. And so this really is a larger safety discussion when it comes also to your friendships, right? And so I had a minute to speak to the parents. I just took over for Sergeant. And I'm sorry, Sergeant, I apologize for stepping on your toes. But I was moved to say some things to the parents. And one of the things I had to say and I want to share with all of you is that, your friendships matter too. And so when we're talking about these relationships that aren't healthy for you, that includes your friendships. And that includes having conversations about who are the people that you're hanging with, you're going to the mall with. How do they treat you? Because we can't say don't get in an intimate relationship that's not healthy, then we allow you as parents and as adults in your lives to then be in friendships where we see the people treating you just as bad, right? Mm-hmm. So here's the thing. You have the right to be safe. Physically safe, emotionally safe, mentally safe. In every aspect of your life, in all relationships. And because I'm a juvenile court judge, I'm gonna say, including in your parent-child relationship. And there are avenues for protection for you in all of those. So if our goal as a community is for you to be safe, I need you to remember that whenever you feel uncomfortable, whenever you feel like someone isn't treating you right, they are putting you down, they are making your self-esteem go down, they are hurting you in one way or the other, find that safe person. And so one of the resources, it might be a different question, but always have a safe person. Always have, I think I saw resources up there. Mm-hmm. Always have a safe person, right? Because you can't always get to the court immediately. Because you guys are young people. If you don't have, everybody got licenses in the car? So if you don't have a license in the car, you can't get to the courthouse. Right? Easy? Okay. So let's talk about before you get through the court system. If you have access to the phone, you have access to the sergeant and his team and 911. If you feel unsafe, call it. Let them sort it out later. I know sometimes there's hesitancy to bring law enforcement to bear, but here's the reality. I would prefer to have something start with law enforcement and let it get figured out through the process versus we all come to your funeral because you decided you didn't want to call and you were scared to call. I know it's not easy being brown and black in the community and our interactions with law enforcement right now, there's all these feelings around that. I get that. And we can have that conversation. But the most important thing, especially when it comes to these intimate relationship violence, is your safety first. So have a safe person. Who is that? For me, it was always my auntie, my youngest auntie, right? She was the one, if I couldn't tell my mom, I could tell Aunt Harriet. She would tell my mama. But I didn't have to have a conversation, right? Who is your person? Does your parent know who your person is? And does your person know that if something is happening to you, they can talk, now they may not tell you, but the right person always knows that they can talk to your parent and when to talk to your parent. They won't tell them everything, but they tell them what they need to know. Now, if something happens when you need to come to the courthouse, the domestic violence protective orders, and I talked to the parents about that a little earlier, are available through the court system as a way of protection. It's for intimate relationships. Now, we also have 50C orders when it comes to 16-year-olds and above for non-intimate relationships of friends that might be harassing you. But for domestic violence and things with teen dating, if you are feeling, and I'm a lawyer and a judge, I always have to look at the statute because I don't like to tell anybody anything wrong. North Carolina General Statute 50B-1 defines what a domestic violence is, right? So domestic violence is someone attempts to cause you bodily harm. Someone does intentionally cause you bodily harm. Someone places you in fear of serious bodily harm. Someone places you in fear of continued harassment such that they inflict substantial emotional distress on you. So if someone is calling you 15 times a day and scaring you and say, I know where you are, I know where you are, I'm coming to get you, that likely puts you in fear of significance of harassment, right? And some emotional distress. So your parent, your minors, can come down to ask for a protective order for you. And that is something they can do at the courthouse. Now, the second thing I will say is making sure parents, as we partner, support our children through these sometimes tumultuous relationships, therapy is not a bad thing. Basic belief, everybody needs a therapist. We just need to say it and have that support and have that conversation. And especially if your child is involved in one of these relationships where you know as an adult there are red flags and you see it, then don't be afraid to get them that support that they need. And we are blessed to be in a community where there are free resources available for mental health, like C.W. Williams over there on Wilkinson, like the Hope Center, Community Center over on East Side. There are many places where you can get some free mental health treatment for kids. And so take advantage of that. Where to go, I have to say that if you need a protective order, the magistrate's office is available 24/7, downtown, next to the court, at the courthouse, in order to help you get a domestic violence protective order.
Thank you, Judge Blake. We can give a round of applause. I'm going to jump in because we have our representative from CMPD, Ms. Addie. We also have Ashley S. with us, as well as Davida, who we've met, and Lucius, and I'm gonna jump right in with the questions. So this one's for you, Addie. What do you wish more people understood about the long-term impact of domestic violence on young people?
Thank you. So we kind of talked about, before I answer, I'm just going to give a little spiel too, because we talked about it with the girls, but I kind of wanted to share it with the whole group as well, just to kind of give everybody a snapshot of what we're looking at as far as numbers with CMPD. So each year, just domestic violence related calls for service, 911 calls for service, it's just under 40,000 for the city of Charlotte. That's really only second to car accidents. So it kind of shows how many or how often our officers are responding to domestic violence. And then of that, it's right under 9,000 reports that are generated. And those are ones that kind of come that we follow up on. And to even kind of drive that down further, I'm a little bit of a stats nerd, so I just kind of had them pull some information for us. And so of those reports last year, there were 87,087 reports. But ones where it was a teenage victim, it was 713 of those. So that's 8.12%, which is a pretty hefty percentage of all the reports. And
Addie, will you repeat that number again?
Yeah, absolutely. It was of 8,787 reports, 713 involved people aged 19 or younger, and that was 8.12%. And I even say that to punctuate that the other piece of that is that we all know domestic violence is underreported, and we still have these numbers. So just like what Judge Blake was saying, there are resources that are available, so we always encourage folks to reach out for that. We understand they may not want to talk to law enforcement, and that's fine. We kind of talked about that too, that we're so lucky that we have folks like Davida that have her own programs that can kind of get out there in the community as well. Any way that people can get the help is what we want. But to go back and answer your question now, so I apologize about the little spiel there. But one thing that I was kind of looking at too is when I was also just kind of pulling information for the panel is that more than 15 million in the United States, 15 million children in the United States live in homes where domestic violence has happened at least once. So some of that long-term effect for children that may have grown up in that, and you may not think about it, but these are long-term health problems. There can be, as far as the health, it can be diabetes, heart disease. Then you can go kind of more to the mental health, emotional problems, where as far as there may be poor self-esteem, depression, anxiety. These are things that you may not think about that are affecting the kids, but it kind of sticks with them, and it does continue into adulthood. And even just kind of shorter term things when it comes to the impacts of domestic violence. If the children are witnessing this in the home, they may blame themselves for the abuse. You, as a parent, you may not be thinking about that, but the kiddos might be taking it on themselves. It hurts the children's self-esteems. For teens, it's kind of the same thing, low self-esteem, maybe difficulty making friends at school, excessive absences, kind of staying when they're feeling ill even when they're not. So these are some of the effects that we see, at least for children that have either witnessed domestic violence or might be in a teen dating violence relationship themselves.
Thank you for that. I'm going to jump over to Davida and Lucius, but Lucius, I actually want you to start out with this one. And one, I recognize that for both of you, this is hard, and my prayer goes out for you for the strength. But if you can please share your testimony on losing someone from domestic violence and how it has affected you.
Hello? I got to give me a little grace. This is my first time publicly speaking on this, so I might be a little nervous. But I lost a significant other, the love of my life, my wife, to domestic violence. As strange as that may sound, we were separated for a little while, and she messed with this guy, and he ended up killing her in front of my son. But we met in 2008. Let me a little bit about Leah. Her name was Aaliyah. Very sweet, charismatic, outgoing, life of the party. Typical Leo, if y'all do the zodiac thing, but but we met in 2008. My kids are here in the back. My daughter Enai, my son Isaiah. Like I said, we met in 2008. Had our first kid in 2010. Had my daughter in 2011. And in 2015, we got married. We bought a home. In between that, got married in our home, and throughout marriages, like most marriages, we had our ups and downs. Marriage can get a little rough for people that don't know that. So that's my message within the marriage. I would like to tell men, sometimes you have to fight a little harder by, putting your wife first. And sometimes, women, y'all have to, find joy, because being happy is a fickle feel. It's a fickle feeling, man. And it's not greener on the other side. It's greener where you water your own grass. But like I said, 2016, we started having problems to finances. Also, want to say this as well. I feel like a marriage sometimes it's like this is my little comparison. Like, it's like when this country was founded. They had their original constitution, laws, but as the country grew, you got to make amendments, laws, and things of that nature. And I feel like a marriage is the same way. Like, you can't, it's gonna forever change. Someone's gonna be the breadwinner. Someone's gonna be, you might get health might change, things of that nature. But anyway, like 2017, 2018, it just got rocky for us to the point where we separated. She ended up taking my kids up to New York. We thought we could reconcile. She came back in 2018. But, it just got worse. So I ended up moving out the house. And when I moved out, like 6 months later, she met a guy online and moved him into the house. And I didn't even know what was going on. Like, I had a restraining order on me, so I couldn't even go to the home and really check on my kids. I was getting my kids, but I couldn't go to the house, so I really didn't know what was going on. Like I said, she ended up moving a guy in February of 2019. By July 2nd, 2019, he ended up killing her. And now that hindsight, they said the police were called to the house 19 times in 3 months. And that was unbeknownst to me. And he was over there, hitting on her, beating on her, and I guess it came a time where she was like, I had enough, I want to work on my marriage, reconcile, and she wanted to leave, and he ended up stabbing her and slashed the tires. He killed her in front of my son, so like it affected, him, me. I'm a single dad now because of that. I grieve. Like, I never really recovered from the separation, so, I'm still grieving being a single dad. We lost our home. I lost so much, but, we're still blessed and here, and, that's my testimony for the most part. And I also want to add, if anybody wants to hear my testimony more in depth, that prompted me and sparked me to write this book. So if y'all want to, support a single dad, but I appreciate that. But for the most part, that's my testimony, and I'm just blessed, and I'm still here smiling. Yeah.
Lucius, thank you for sharing with us and sharing that publicly. And for your babies, you have a lot of prayers in this room for you. And I am glad, Lucius and the family, that you all have a village so that you're not having to go through this alone. Davida, if you don't mind sharing your story and why you do the work that you do today.
Yes. So my sister Deandra, she was life of the party as well, like your wife. We would go in the mall, and like in the middle, they'll be like, come try this. She'll be like, don't play with me, not today. And I didn't know that she was in a toxic relationship with her ex-boyfriend, Andre. She had actually left him and moved on to a healthy relationship, but she still had love for Andre. And it was a financially and emotionally abusive relationship. Anytime he needed money, she would give it to him. She gave him her PIN number to her debit card, and she also bought him some shoes in December, right? And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because January 29th, when she went to work, working at Walmart, he texted her and was like, hey, I want you to come over so we can talk about some things. Mind you, she had set her boundaries earlier that morning when she saw him and said, hey, I'm not giving you any money anymore, but we can still keep it cool. And I guess he realized that ain't gonna work for me, so I'm gonna have to see her when she gets off work. So he texted her and said, hey, I need you to come see me tonight. And she asked her coworkers, like, girl, you think I should go see him? Her coworkers like, no, didn't you say he's toxic? Didn't you say that he and you had a fight before? Because he actually pulled a gun on her before. He pushed her before. And she actually maced him one time. But she still had love for him. And so even though her coworker said no, she went to go see him at their spot. This spot was a place that young teens would go to have sex, do drugs, do things they had no business doing. And as soon as she pulled up, she never even got out of the car. He ambushed her and shot her 15 times. And one of her bullet wounds was in her head right here. And I remember because I volunteered to do her hair for her funeral. And another bullet wound was right here in this hand because she tried to defend herself. And he took her out the car, dragged her, left her on the ground for someone to find her the next morning walking their dog like she was some piece of trash. And once he did that, he took her debit card, he took her whole wallet, he took her keys, and decided he was gonna go shopping on Michael Kors' website. And he bought a watch. He knew that she had $1,000 saved up for college. To him, her life was less valuable than the $1,000 that she had for the watch that he wanted. And the same shoes that she bought for him in December were the same shoes he wore to murder her, sorry. And I created Dear Deandra to honor her. I wear her with me proudly anytime I go to an event so people can know her name and know her story. And when I got the call, I was driving and they hit me with the news and I swerved. That's why I try not to have road rage when somebody swerves into my lane, because you never know what they're going through. You never know what kind of call they got. And it was so traumatic to the point I just threw up. That's something that no one prepares you for. But we're here today to prepare you for standing against teen dating violence, standing against domestic violence, knowing those red flags so that way you don't get to this point And because of that, I was actually working at Victoria's Secret. My goal was to be a manager. I wanted to work in corporate for Victoria's Secret, loss prevention. But with my degree in criminal justice, when I got that call, God said, no, you're not supposed to be working in loss prevention. You're supposed to be preventing teen dating violence. And so that's why I do what I do, so that way young girls can know her story and stand against it. And we don't have to have these conversations like this to share our story. Maybe we can just empower young men and women to continue standing strong, setting those boundaries, saying no, and not giving their card information out. And of course, not sharing the location all the time. But thank you for listening to my story.
Thank you for sharing, Davida. Ashley S., what are some early emotional signs that a relationship might be unhealthy or unsafe?
Hi, everybody. I'm Ashley, and I'm a therapist. So some emotional signs is like checking in with your body. If you're tensing up, you have anxiety, your stomach start hurting, and like, or even to your sister's point, if you have to ask somebody, should I do this? And that's a sign that you probably shouldn't do it. So just checking in with yourself and just assessing the situation. And like I said, those physical symptoms, shaking, all that is emotional signs that you're probably not in the best relationship.
Thank you. And what's the best way for a parent to respond if their teen opens up about being in a toxic or violent relationship?
If you're a parent and you know you cannot handle that, I would advise you to seek therapy for your child. Everybody knows what they can and can't handle. If you feel like you cannot handle it objectively as a concerned parent and you're going to fight off the handle, I would encourage you to get professional help, because it could go left really quickly. And that's not good for you or your child or the other child involved. So seek help if you need it. If you feel that you can handle it, go to the authorities. If you don't want to go to authorities, get resources. There's a plethora of community resources available, depending on how you want to handle it.
Thank you. Judge Blake and Addie, what signs should parents take seriously when it comes to teen dating violence, and how can they safely step in? Thinking about one of the questions or comments that was made when the adults were still in the room, you had a parent who saw signs that they were concerned about, but the other parent did not see concern with the aggressive behavior. So as a parent, what do you think are some of those signs that parents, and not just parents, aunts, uncles, the adults in our young people's lives, should take seriously when it comes to teen dating violence?
So I'm a parent of a teenager, and I take everything seriously. I think we have to with kids, because we're learning them as they learn themselves. That makes sense. They're changing. And so when you see behaviors that are different, so here's the thing, your kid isn't, because they don't know what's toxic, right? So if they don't know what's toxic, and all you see is behavior changing. So they're not gonna come and say, hey, I think this is toxic, because they think it's normal. For example, a lot of kids think everybody having your location is normal. It is not. It is dangerous. And I'm saying that to you guys, although it has become what you guys do, it is not normal for your group of 12 friends to all have your location, because guess what? They're not all gonna be your 12 friends at the same time. Nothing is a problem until it's a problem. And so when you talk about being safe, you need to really focus on creating the most safe environment for yourself. So if you have a best friend and you choose to, for whatever positive reason, share your location with the best friend, do that, right? Hey girl, I wanna make sure you're good, and I know you are. Someone said it, so I can tell your mama if something happens. That's different than everybody on the dance team having everybody's location. Y'all know half the time you have beef with each other, right? That's just how it is, and that's how teens go. And there are apps that are tracking location. I had to go through my daughter's phone because she was showing me something on, what's that one that's yellow? Is it Snap? On Snap. On Snap, if you don't turn a location off, everybody on Snap knows where you are. And so parents, like, go through your kid's phone. And so I just take it seriously, and I'm sorry, let me get it back in center. The reality is, there are lots of things that are happening that could be signs. So parents, when you see change behavior, I saw my daughter crying more, and I knew it was a problem. Now, this is just with some friends from her little friend group. I saw more crying. I saw more conversations with the door closed, right? I saw going to sleep a little earlier or staying up a little later. You know, you see behaviors when your child changes, you know your child. And that's when it comes time to like listen and talk. And that is harder, because as parents, our first thing is to what? To fix. And we can't fix everything. So I'll go back to what Dr. Ashley said. You don't have a PhD yet, you better have one. We don't know all the time what to do, right? So maybe we need the resource. Maybe we need to call in the auntie. Maybe we need to call in the godmother. Maybe we need to call in whoever the mentor is, or the mother of the other friends you know is a good friend because she thinks, your child thinks that mother or father is positive, right? Let them do the talking. Let go a little bit and let other people step in and help to try to get to what's really going on, and then be patient and listen closely. Because sooner they're gonna say something that you're gonna pick up on. Just let them talk, right? And it's so frustrating because your kid's gonna say stuff like, I'm gonna keep it read on God, not gonna lie. You know? So they say like 30 words and nothing has come out yet, right? Just stop, just let them keep talking, right? That's teen talk, right? Not gonna lie, I'm gonna keep it read on God. Okay. Right? And so these are the things to look out for, that change behavior, change relationships. New friends come around. Ooh, new friends are a red flag for me. I don't like new friends. New friends whose parents you don't know, I do not like even more. If I don't know your parents, they don't know you. Right? And so some of the things that kids expect, which is for us to be hands off, are the most dangerous things we can do. And so you have to be firm in your mind that you cannot be hands off. And then I've said it before, but I'll say, like, don't be ashamed. If you think something's wrong with your kid, they're at school 7 hours a day. Talk to those teachers. They're probably seeing something. See what they see and have the conversation. Just get that insight. That's how we know things are going on. And then when we figure out what's happening, then we can figure out how to help them. But half the problem and half the challenge is what's happening. And again, y'all question y'all location, everybody. People do not even know you got. One of the most dangerous things that happened recently, okay, so we're CMPD. CMPD, we're sorry. Let me tell y'all, these TikTok things, one of the most dangerous things that happened recently was senior assassin. Senior assassin. Well, all the seniors in the school were all sharing their locations so they could shoot each other with water guns. Second only to the USB cords and Kias. So those are two most dangerous things that happen to kids, because now you have all these kids school-wide, not even friend groups, sharing their location with some online app so they can shoot each other with water guns to figure out I don't know if any of them ever turned it off.
Addie, did you have anything that you wanted to add?
I think Judge Flake said everything perfectly. Yeah.
So can we give the panel a round of applause, please? So we got started a little late because of the weather, but we want to open up for a Q&A. So we would love to allow the audience, I did see one hand go up, to ask a question, or if you have feedback, I'm going to ask you to keep it to a minute or less, because y'all not going to be talking about me later, talking about how I kidnapped y'all by keeping y'all in here too long. So I do have one question over here.
Hi, everybody. Sorry I'm late. This is the best event of the evening out of all of the events I had to go to. So my question is, and I'm a parent, my kids are old now, but I'm interested in knowing, and probably Judge Blake has the best insight on this, what age do you start seeing the red flag? Like, is it like in middle school? Because now it's like earlier and earlier, and maybe you guys have already addressed this. Is it like middle school? Do you see like these little things happening? Because I remember this was back in my day, it was 30 or some years ago, when, elementary school, they had like, I had one boyfriend this day, another boyfriend the next day, but how early are you seeing these behavioral changes and things like that?
So I'll go back to kind of what I said in the adult session. I may have said it here too. It depends on how you view it. So if you're choosing to view this as we're talking about dating relationships, I think you have one answer. But my point of view is kids are trained how to act in relationships beginning with friendships, so it starts at elementary school. So the little kid who's like hitting on your child and being disrespectful to them in 3rd grade is going to be the boyfriend that's beating up on them in 10th grade. Unless something intervenes in that child's life, right? And there could be things that intervene. And so the key to me is starting to point out the red flags to kids really young. So when you see the behavior toward them, you're saying, that's not right. You know that's not your friend shouldn't do this. You tell me if this is happening. That's how we start the conversations and make it easier for them to have the conversations as they're adults, as relationships change and grow. Now, for teenagers, when it comes to just kind of the dating relationships, for me, as soon as they start getting these social media accounts, which is around early middle school now, is when I'm seeing it. Because now all these fights are about who's DMing who and liking comments on social media. Like, somebody liked your picture. I mean, people, grown people, are coming into domestic violence court about who's liking pictures. And so when I'm looking at, and I'm just gonna say it, I do juvenile court, I do delinquency, I will not tell you how many violent crimes that have happened in this community have started because one boy liked another boy's girlfriend's Facebook picture. Or, I'm sorry, they don't do Facebook, that's old. Instagram picture. Or what somebody said on Snap. If I heard any, like, if I can get rid of phones, I guarantee y'all we will address so much of the juvenile violence in this community. Because so much of it starts with those things, right? And then someone exerting some measure of power and control as a result of that trigger. And so I think it starts in that early, middle school, as soon as they start getting that open access to social media and what they think are relationships. That's the other thing. Half of these intimate relationships aren't even what we define as intimate relationships as adults, right? They're talking about people who literally have never met and they're just texting each other or DMing each other on the phone. That's not your girlfriend, kids. Your girlfriend is not the person you DM on the phone. That's not your boyfriend. If you have not seen them, you are not in relationship with them. And I dare say, if they have not met your mama, you are not in relationship with them. That's not a relationship. We also have to teach kids what a relationship is, what a real friendship is. Everybody who follows you is not your friend. And that means you shouldn't share your location with them because they do not, your friends have your best interest in mind. I know my friends in this room, and my friends got my back hard. Hard. And they will not let anything happen to me if it has something to do with them. And if you can't say that about the people that you call your friends, they're not your friends and they should not know where you are all the time. People who do not fit that definition should not know you sitting in this room right now.
Do any other panelists want to add?
I will
Yes,
say,
Addie.
I will say, one of the youngest cases that we ever had of an offender, my voice, was a 10-year-old boy who brought a knife to school because the girl wouldn't say yes to be his girlfriend. And when that was kind of prompted and they looked into it further, that kid, he had learned that behavior from his parents. So domestic violence is a learned behavior, and that correlation of children that grow up witnessing that to become perpetrators themselves is very high. So, and it wasn't a punitive reaction for him. It was a therapeutic for him to be able to kind of get the help that he needed because he just thought it was fine. He thought that's what normal life was. But 10 was probably the youngest that we've had.
Did we have another question from any of the young people? Or any comments that anyone wants to share? I know this was deep and it was heavy, but it was needed. So I truly appreciate all of you. We also have the ability, if you have a question but you didn't want to ask it out loud, we do have some index cards if you would like to write them down and give your contact. And if it's for a specific person, I will give it to them directly. And now, as we get ready to close, I'm going to hand it to Davita so that she could talk about the cards that I passed around to everyone.
Yes. Does everyone have a card?
Those little pledge cards?
Okay. We put these on the little card so that way you can fit it into your wallet and keep it with you and be reminded of why you came here and why you need to continue having the conversation and to protect yourself as well as others. And so I want everyone to say this pledge with me. Can everyone stand? Let's get this pledge. Let's say this pledge together. And I really want you to affirm what you're about to read. Oh, yes, absolutely. All right. Want to make sure everybody gets a card.
Thank you.
So when you say this, I want you to really affirm it. And what I like to do when I say my affirmations in the morning is I like to breathe and really just take in what I'm saying. So everybody just take a moment to breathe, because what we talked about was very heavy. So let's take a moment to breathe. 1, 2, 3. And let it out. One more time, because let's do it one more time. 1, 2, 3. All right, thank you so much. Let's get into these affirmations. First one, and I want you guys to repeat after me. I pledge to know my worth, and I won't settle for less.
I pledge to know my worth and I won't settle for less.
I respect myself and expect to be treated with respect.
I respect myself and expect to be treated with respect.
I will not tolerate pressure, control, or abuse in any relationship.
I will not tolerate pressure, control, or abuse in any relationship.
I deserve relationships that are healthy, honest, and supportive.
I deserve relationships that are healthy, honest, and supportive.
I want you to say this last one with your chest, really believing that what you're saying. I will only engage in connections where I feel safe and valued.
I will only engage in connections where I feel safe and valued.
Thank you so much for taking this pledge, and I hope you guys enjoy. And I want to say thank you so much to Councilwoman Mayfield for allowing us to take space, share my sister's story, hear about your wife's story, hear from all of our speakers, and I'm just grateful for you guys being here, and I hope you can scan this QR code right here on the screen to let us know how we did. If you really enjoyed this, please let us know so that we can continue having these spaces, having more young people come here, having more opportunities like this, and letting your voice be heard. And with that being said, I want to say also thank you to my partner, Sean Kennedy. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Sean, so much for your hard work, your dedication, and I want to say thank you to Councilwoman Mayfield for this opportunity. I want to give you something slight, a little appreciation, token of appreciation. Yes, ma'am. As well as her white hand queen, Miss LaToya White. Thank you so much for your help, and thank you all for being here. I love you guys, and if you guys need anything, please contact us at Dear Deandra. It's actually on Instagram, Dear Deandra. And with that being said, do you have anything you want to share? Are we good?
Okay, so everyone that parked across the street at Davidson Parking Deck, I believe the gate is already open, so there is no fee for parking. The gate is already open for you. Thank you all for coming tonight. Please complete the survey. Let me know how I can better support you as one of your elected officials. Thank you for showing up. Thank you to all our panelists. Ashley S., thank you for being here with us. Davita, Addie, Lucius, Sean, thank you. Antoine, LaToya, the entire City of Charlotte liaison team. Sean, would you like to share a few words? Oh, can we get a group photo? For those that are comfortable, can we take a group photo? I would love to have a photo if you're comfortable, or at least with all of the panelists, because I know young people, y'all don't like taking photos with people, even though I think I'm pretty cool, and you want to take a photo with me. Judge Blake, don't leave me. We're trying to get a group photo of the panelists.